everyone to the Battle Pirates Crib Friday night hangout. We've got a smaller panel than we used to today. We've got Stephen, Pain Train, and Montana. I think Pain's going to go ahead and open it up.
So we're going to. Someone's got feedback. So I'll just mute you. Obviously we've got a smaller panel, so there's plenty of space. If anybody wants in, send one of us a message, and we'll put that link up. Also, we're going to do a lot of questions from the chat, so if you've got a question, then ask it now, and we'll try and get through as many as we can. Remember, there's a bit of a delay on the chat compared to what we have, so get it in early so we don't miss your question or anything. I think obviously we did a show on Wednesday where we did a lot about the missions and all the kind of chores and stuff what we do. We'll start off a little bit. We don't want to go over it too much because we are just going to pretty much be repeating ourselves if we go on too long about it. So the arena, good place to start.
Sure is. Did you
yeah, seems like it.
Arena Montana?
Yeah, I did. I used Pain's build.
Seems like all the smart people use Pain's build, and the people who didn't, like myself, finished in the 20s.
Well, I tried subs at the start, and it didn't go very well.
Yeah, I noticed that people are a lot more wised up to using subs now. I know the arena before I can pretty much use only subs and got in the top 10 really easily, and I didn't spend a single coin. I did use subs a little bit on this one because I wanted to kind of get some free matches, just to kind of secure my top 10. I thought I'll run around with subs. I put a bullseye on, a bit of a dick move, you might say, but it is what it is. And they didn't last long because a lot of antis up there. You've got the Rhinos, and I know they've not got great thermal, but with an Aegis or something with them, all they need to do is spot you, and that Rhino would have ripped you up. Whereas before in the previous arena, a lot of people were just using ships what didn't necessarily hit submerged. So yeah, subs are pretty dead in the arena, which is actually a good thing. I like killing subs in the arena.
I think I had about a 40% success rate using subs in the arena. I did catch a lot of people that were just using like the default Frosty build with 4 fusion cruisers, so they didn't really have any punch on their Frosty. Granted, to a couple people who just started using Nighthawks, like you said, people did wise up. Whenever you saw those Rhinos, you pretty much know you're screwed. You're not going to be able to take those down.
Rhinos are really fast as well. If you build them right, they've got enough speed to kind of follow the torps, and eventually you'll get cornered. There's only so far you can run. The battle area is not that big.
I think the Rhinos are brilliant. Just the speed and the range.
Yeah, definitely. And the unreactive as well. I think the Rhino is definitely, I'm sorry for those who haven't got it, but if you've got it, then you should probably make it a priority. It's something you should build. I'm using mine. I've got 3 that I use in the mission, and I'm doing the mission for free. Rhinos aren't necessary for that, but it helps a hell of a lot.
I know you've just touched on the mission there, Pain. I was going to try and talk about the mission a little bit tonight, because I think, although we're a week before Raid Week, I think we've got a lot of new mission prizes that have been said that they're going to release. The Ballista Turret, new countermeasure loader specials. So I think it's probably worth talking about. I mean, I know you said you do it for free. You go through twice as well, don't you?
Yeah, I can do it 2, 3, 4 times if I wanted to. Obviously, it just takes time. But coining isn't an issue because there is no coins needed to be spent in the mission. So long as you've got the tech, you could do it. Yeah. I mean, if you like, I could go through my build a bit if you want me to share it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Was this the one that was centered around that JugX high evade build?
Yeah, I've touched on it a little bit. I've actually tweeted a little bit since I last mentioned it. But I think there's some key concepts which you could take from this to use in the raid as well. I'm just going to get my screen share up, Tyler.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
I mean, feel free to ask questions about the build and stuff as well. Get some kind of discussion going around it. So obviously, I'm using the Savage for the missile defenses. The main damage you get in the mission is from the missiles. So you want to get your missile defense as high as possible, as well as your evade. The Jug is what it's all about. The Jug itself is all evade armor. When you retro that, you can see it's 86.9% evade. I think on retro, just still in 80% and above, which is really good. So it's not one of these fleets where retrofit makes it amazing and not having it retro makes it shit, because it still works really effectively. The 4 phalanx, they're phalanx number 3s. Obviously, if you haven't got them, you can use phalanx 2s, even phalanx 1s, just to shoot down the occasional missile. It also gives you a bonus to the missile defense. Reactive armor, again, focusing completely on missile defense, and siege battery for the turret defense, which gives you a really nice 96% there. This has been my current retrofits, so it's R8 siege battery and R3 reactive armor. But like I said, you don't need to retrofit any of these. I would definitely advise trying to get them retrofitted if you can, but it's not a lifesaver if you haven't got them retrofitted. It's not a big deal. So this is the thing that I really want to touch on, the Rhino build that I've got. It's useful in the mission because it's full power. There's 15 missiles on each. I've changed it now, whereas it was all Harriers before. Obviously, with the disruption being released, I've mixed in 6 Harriers and then 9 disruptions. It helps just slow down some of the fleet at the start, as it doesn't change the damage or anything, does it? So the damage is the same, isn't it? You know, for the Harrier and the disruption. So I thought I might as well get as many disruptions as I can, so I can double this fleet up and use it in raids and stuff. And I've gone with the full power again, building damage with siege target and siege barriers, so it re-targets quicker and kills the turrets quicker in the mission. The guided missile system, you can see it's the special from Elite. It gives you the retargeting and the missile range, and then this interception system for the higher damage. Now, one thing I'm going to say is you don't have to have this stuff. Obviously, these 2 specials here are from the Elite. If you're building this fleet because you can't get into Elite, then these 2 specials aren't going to be for you. What you could do, you could split the guided missile system into solid fuel booster and lasers. Just lasers 1 is fine. You don't need to use a speed system. I don't actually have speed system on mine yet. I need to refit that on, but it works fine without it. And you can change the interception system for enhanced warhead. All 3 of those are researchable. Every single player in the game can have those specials. So, you know, if you haven't got these 2 here, it's not the end of the world. So in the raid, my thoughts in the raid with this fleet is you can see it's a cheap repair. 1 hour 59 minutes, you know, per Rhino. So that's 2 coins per Rhino in the raid if you were to fully fix them. They don't have any armor, you see. But you like zombieing, don't you, Tyler? You're the king of zombieing, I would say. You're always zombieing your mastodons and stuff.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, so think about this. This fleet has got good range. The remote target is 148.2. Regular missiles 98.2. No, sorry, 98.8. But you will be using remote, I would imagine. So you picture this in the raid. You've got all these subs that are going to be coming at you. It looks like. So stick on some thermal spar or something, even a V2H. You could probably zombie the campaigns and stuff, I would imagine. Run through with this, and it's got that much power that it's going to do a lot of damage, you know, per entry into your targets.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at that, and on the basis, on kind of off the back of, because I talked to you about your strategy last week, didn't I? And then on the back of that, I was trying to work a way out of doing it myself, sort of getting tier 4, and there's been a lot of good tech coming out in there that I really wanted, the interception system especially. And what I've moved to doing is I hit co-op with my uncle Brooksy, and we were running fusion cruisers in the mission as well, and I was finding that was working pretty well. Similar strategy to what you've got there, Rob. So we were we were using Jug X. I had a Jug X, he had an Aegis. A fusion cruiser each was enough firepower. And then we had like 4 Tritons between us. And I think he had another tank as well. I think he had a V2C. And between us, we were getting through them. You know, my Jug X build isn't as refined as yours is for the mission. But,
you don't have to have the Jug either in that. That's another thing that that's really good about it. You could use a Hellstrike R10. Obviously, a little bit of uranium needed for that. But, you know, I know a lot of people saying to me, oh, well, what if you don't have this? What if you don't have that? The whole premise of the fleet in the mission is the fact that you've got that decoy. You could put anything behind it. You could put strike cruisers, Kodiaks, V2H, whatever you've got, whatever does the most build and damage, stick that behind it. You could even use morts, rockets, whatever, so long as the damage is being taken by the whatever's up front. And you know, if you don't have a Jug X, just think wisely. Use whatever you have, which has the most built-in evade, the most armor slots, and the most missile defense. So you want to try and get that, you know, as good as you can. Even a V2H, I reckon that could do really well.
Yeah, well. Sorry, mate. Yeah, my uncle was using a V2C, and that had really high evade, so that was doing quite well. Because
the V2H was good. V2H was really good retro stats for missile defense as well.
Yeah. So both of them are viable options. Like Payne's saying, you don't need the best tech. If you make a build specifically for that tank and purpose, it doesn't really matter what hull it is. You know, as long as you've got high evade or high armor and high missile defense, then you're going to be doing well in it. Those sides don't really deal a lot of damage. Another thing I'd say is a good idea is build small bomb pitches. I think they're quite a short build, like you're talking like 15 minutes. Is that about right, Payne?
So a small long, did you say?
Yeah, small long print.
I think that's half an hour still. I'm not actually sure what the build time is on that.
I think my uncle said they're 14, but he was building them and I wasn't. But if you pinch the Wendy's, you're talking like 14 minutes or half an hour. Both of them are short builds anyway, and you pinch the Wendy out, that takes out most of your damage from the middle as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, and that does it really easily.
I mean, it's really your 9 minutes to get a small pinch. There's no reason to take the damage from the Wendigo if you don't need it. And then I'm sure we talked about it in the past. You don't have to go all the way back to your base to auto-load the next missile. You just have to go to the map.
Yeah. Also, I see you posted it in this chat, Stephen. I didn't touch up on it, so it was a good spot. The build time on this Rhino idea that I use, it's only just under 12 days per Rhino. So even if you had all the tech and you wanted to build it, you wouldn't have to worry about it being an expensive build either in time or money because of it having such high tech. It's still relatively quick to build. If you were coining, it's just 575 per ship, which for someone coining a ship, that's actually pretty low.
Yeah, $150 for 3 of them. That's almost affordable in this game.
Yeah, or you could just wait. I mean, think about the raid and how the same kind of campaigns and stuff. I'm sure we're going to see over the next 3 or 4 raids. You could pretty much get the 3 Rhinos built in completion. If you start now, you could have them done for the next raid.
Well, that really goes to show why your Jug X build you had is so crucial. It's because with upcoming changes to the game and weight increases, that 8K is going to be a lot more palatable in a full fleet. You know, you spread it across. I have one that's decent. I'm kind of moving it towards your build. I haven't done it because of the shipyard time and also because of weight. But I know I need to just go and bite that bullet, and that 8K is going to be very manageable very soon.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a build on that one.
I mean, it's 24 and a half days. Now, people are saying it's a long time to build the jug and stuff. I'm like, well, that one jug is all you really need, and you can stick anything you've got behind it. If you're not wanting to build the Rhinos, that's fine. You don't need the Rhinos. You need the jug. The jug is the thing that makes the fleet.
I think
24 days, you can make that back in tokens. If you're not able to do the elite, never mind, do it twice. Having this jug means you can get elite twice as long as you've got the perseverance to go through the elite twice. You're going to get the prizes more regularly. You're always going to be getting tokens where they're available. So it's kind of like a profitable way of thinking. You're going to be earning back that build time over the next few months.
I think another option for a tank potentially came up. I can't remember what we talked about on the Wednesday show and what we talked about in the pre-show, but the Grimshine Berserker, with the new stats that have come out on that, that makes it a really good tank for the mission. I drafted a build that was 28 days, 2 hours, I think, that was as effective as the Jug was. I think had like 90% turret defense. So it's
Just want to... Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you pick that up, you could also look at doing that. And that's useful for the ships as well with the 300% reload, and the 300% overload.
Just to answer a question from chat about that build, somebody asked to show the Kodiak build. It's just blank. There's nothing on that Kodiak. It's just a flagship only deal. I actually have a thud cannon on speed system, of which point we hope to see a prize list so we can give recommendations on what to win, what to aim for and stuff like that, and hopefully we get to see some of the targets, maybe tips and tricks on what we're going to hit on the raid targets, and we'll go over that. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming out, and for the people on the panel, and for those watching at home, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
See you, everybody.